So in our last session we understood about how to install SAP GUI. I hope all of you have installed it in your computer, and also the system landscape, right? What are the different types of systems that you will see in organization. So in today's class we will see more about SAP GUI. So let's say now after installing SAP GUI, okay, so what you might see is just an logo in your screen like this. Okay, so to open this you have to double click. Okay, so then you might see an empty screen like this. You may not see anything, you will just see like this. Okay, so what you can do is like to add a connection, okay, to add server connection or to add server details to the SAP GUI, you have to say create connection, or you can also select here. See, some of them already available. Okay, so just ignore them, I have already added. So let's see, I'll show you. Okay, just right click on the connection and say add new subfolder. Okay, I'll just add an folder like ABAP B20, ABAP batch 20, and I say okay. So you see, you might see an empty thing like this. After that, select this and say create, and then say next, and then to get the server you have to send, or you have to check with your institutes. I am not sure whether they provide you the server's details or not, what discussion that happened at the time of joining. You just have to check with them, and if they are going to provide, in the case you will receive something like this mail. If they are not, if you have to purchase, in that case you have to purchase it. I can give you the contact. If you need any contact for server purchase, you can just give me a call, I can give you, or just ping me, I can give you the contact. You can contact that person and then you can purchase the server. Okay, I think it cost 900 or 1000 rupees for 3 months. Okay, so that depends. Just check with your institute first and then let me know in case you required. Okay, so once you purchase it, just consider that you are going to purchase. Once you purchase, you might receive details like this: your application server details, instance number, system ID, client, it's okay, so some user ID and password. Okay, you have to add those details here. Let me do one thing, I'll just close this one more time, I'll show you. So select the folder and say create connection and say next. After that you will get this like this. Let's say ABAP B20, I'll just add any description, whatever the description you want to add you can add it, and the system ID is EH7. okay, then the instance number is 26. okay, after that the application server, you just have to copy this. Okay, don't use this server, this is actually old I'm showing, but I'm not using that right now, that might have been expired already. Just showing you how to add. Okay, you see, these are the details that you have to add, and after adding these details you have to say finish. Is this clear till now? Are we clear, guys? Are we clear? Yes, till sir. Here? Okay, so then say finish. After that you might see folder or the server details like this, or if you want to edit this server detail, you can click on edit, select and click on edit. You can add whatever you want. Let's say ABAP training, ABAP training server, say okay, whatever you want to do you can do it, and then select it and say log on. Anyways, I don't have user ID password for this server. Okay, this is how it works. I don't have user ID password, that's not working now, that's old details. I have my own, the other server is this. Okay, after adding the server details, just click on log on. Even you will see the same screen. Then here you have to enter your client data, user ID, and also the password. You see, they will also provide you the client information in the mail itself, client 800, that you have to enter. Okay, so that is done. Understood? Anybody, any doubts so far? Then you can enter your user ID and password. It will allow you to log into the server. Without user ID and password you cannot log in, you have to enter. Is this clear? Guys, any doubts? Hello, how to add server details? Are we clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it's time to discuss one by one. So whenever I select the server and say login, you will see the first field called client. What is this first, the client field? Let's understand what is this client, right? So client, what is this client? Client is a 3-digit number. Okay, it's a 3-digit number. This number varies. This number this can be, or else let's say the client number can be any number between 000 and 100 or 99, any number in between this. Okay, 000 and 999. This is the first thing. It's a 3-digit number. Okay, it can be any number. It can be 00 also, it can be 001 also, 002 also, 100, 200, 300, 400 or 999, whatever it can be in between these numbers. That is what the client. Understood? What is client? Hello? Okay. What is the importance of client field? What is importance of the client field? What is the importance of the client field, right? What is the important? Okay, so the client field used to segregate the data within the system. Client field is used to segregate the data within the system. It is used to segregate the data within the system. Each client have its own master data, transaction data, and organization data. Okay, each client will have its own master data, transaction data, one more master data, transaction data, organization data, and user data. It is the main purpose of the client is to segregate the data within the system that is stored. Okay, that will be stored in the database, right? Transaction. Okay, client field used to segregate the data within the system. Each client have its own master data, transaction data, and organization data, and also the user data. That's the main purpose of the client. Are we clear, all of you? What is different types of data we'll discuss, don't worry, but the main purpose is to segregate the data within the system. Within the system, in a same table, you can have different data. Understood? That means, let's say for an example, if you consider, this is why I taught you that system details, different types of system yesterday. Okay, let's consider development system. Okay, if you consider this is a development server, okay, let's say this is your development system. Okay, so the same server can be divided into multiple servers. Okay, let's say for an example, the same system, the same development system can be divided into 100 client. Let's say 100 can be called it as development client. Okay, so let's say 100 we will call it as development client. And another client, multiple clients, I'm just taking two. Okay, it can be divided into 9999 client. Okay, that many times you can divide the system. Okay, so 100 client, and the other one called it as 200 client. Okay, maybe 200 number can be called it as testing. Okay, so this is how the system can be divided. Okay, development client and testing client. Is this clear to everyone? Hello, are we clear? Say single system can be divided into multiple. Okay, so in what happens now, we will have some tables like client dependent table, client independent table. Okay, let's say client dependent table. Basically the tables are used to store the data. We will see more about them when we start discussing in the data dictionary chapter. You don't have to worry too much today. Okay, let's consider there may be two tables. Okay, maybe let's say a user table. If in case if it is a user table, then it will have the it will have the fields. Maybe let's say the client field. Okay, the client field, and then we will have user ID, and then we will have name. Okay, so what is the client field? What client field is going to do? It is going to have the data, like let's say 100. Okay, maybe user ID is 1001. Okay, and name maybe Srini. Next, 100 client. Again, here user ID is 1001, and user may be Ashita. Okay, so this data you have, this data, whatever the data that is been stored, it is only available inside 100 client. It will not be available inside 200 client. Maybe in 200 client it can have different data. Okay, so here maybe whatever the number you want to store, you can store it. Maybe here for the same 100, or else let's say for this will be the 200 client now. Okay, and then maybe the name will be like Aishwarya. Okay, and then next is Rakshana. Understood? Same table, everything is same. The data that is stored inside a table is different. That is because of the client number. It is used to basically segregate the data within the system. Are we clear on this? Guys, are we clear? Hello? This is what we call client dependent table. We'll understand more in data dictionary chapter. This is what we call client dependent table. Anybody, any doubts so far? Your voice is too low, Ishwarya. Can you speak a little louder?
Client independent means?
Okay, this is what client dependent. Client independent means you will not have the client field. The first field that you see here, right? This one. This is the client field. Understood? So this field will not be available in the client table. Sorry, client independent table. In that case, this is a dependent table, this is independent table. In that case, whatever the data that you store here, the same data will be stored here also. Let's say for example, here if you update name as Srini was Srini G, that is not going to make any difference in the 200 client, but the moment here you update it as Srini G, so it will also update here. That means same data within the system. Understood?
Okay.
This is what client
Yes, sir.
dependent table, where you will have the client field. This is what client independent table, where you will not have the client field. Okay, that is the significance of having the client field at the time of login, to differentiate the data that is stored inside the system. Anybody, any doubts so far?
Sir, as we
Yeah,
said,
please.
client ID will be different, right? So you have given same client ID.
100 and 200. See, ID is different, right?
Yeah, but the development system also, we will see the different client IDs, right?
This is the
And only
ID, right?
system can.
100 and 200.
Yes,
Yeah,
but here downside you have given. Oh, okay, user
this is
ID
user
name.
ID, not
Sorry.
client ID. There is no client field in this table.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But even within the development system also, we can have the
Multiple
different
clients. Yes,
client and different
yes.
user IDs also.
You can have multiple clients. Okay. Anybody, any doubts? I'm happy to answer if you have doubts, guys. You don't have to hesitate. We all here to learn, right? So you don't have to hesitate to ask questions. Any doubts? Are we clear? It's really important. System architecture, right? Really important. Any doubts, anybody?
It's clear, sir.
Clear? Okay, very good.
So the same follows in the quality system and production
Yes, this
system,
is
right?
within the system. Yeah, you can also have multiple clients in quality, in production, and also sandbox. One system can have multiple clients. Okay. If you see the current system that I'm using, it is also divided into multiple clients, but I don't have access. Server provider have not given access to other clients for me, so that's why I may not be able to show you. So I draw the picture so that you can understand. You see, if you go to SE16, and it's a data browser, just to check how many clients available in the current system. This is a client table. You see, two clients are available. One is 000, other one is 800. Understood? Only two clients are available. It can have multiple clients. It's completely depends. It's not like you can only have two clients. You can have multiple clients. Yeah. Okay, so what is client dependent table? Let's understand. If the first field of the table is client field, then table data is client dependent. That means if the table as the client field, this field, if the first field of the table is a client field, in that case the table data that is been stored is dependent. That means this data will not be available in other clients, entirely dependent on this 100 client. That is what client dependent data. Are we clear? Client independent, it is also called as cross client. What is cross client then? Okay, so cross client will not have any client field in table. Okay, the data stored in cross client table is same across the system. The data that will be stored in a cross client, that will remain same across the system. Okay, across the system same data. In the above one, the data depends on the clients. This is what the significance of the client. Anybody, any doubts? Understood about client dependent and cross client? Are we clear, guys? Hello?
So
Yeah, yes,
many companies use only client dependent, not
no, not
client
like that.
independent, right?
One system can have both. It's not like that all tables should be client dependent or independent. That depends. Let's say, for example, you have a requirement where the data always you want to have in other clients also. You don't want to provide any restriction to the table, right? In that case, you can have client independent table. Okay, let's say for an example, I'll just take any table, dd01 maybe, ddl, I'll just take any table. Let's see, do you see client field here? MANDT is the client field. Do you see this client field MANDT? No, right? That means it's a client independent table. Let's take for an example other table like Mara. I say display. Do you see client field here? You see?
Yeah.
So that means the table data is dependent. This is how you identify whether the table is client dependent table or client independent table. Clear? Okay. So any doubts so far, guys? Any of you? No doubts? Okay then. Let's understand types of data. There are different types of data, right? Master data, transaction data, organization data, and other one is user data. Okay, so let's understand about different types of data that we have. Okay, so anybody, any idea what is master data? Very simple. Data will be data changes frequently, data will be used frequently, but changes rarely. Okay, data will be used frequently, but changes very rarely. That's what we call master data. Just to take an example, so everybody has Flipkart or Amazon account. What are the details that you will use every time that you make an order? What are the same details that you'll use every time that you make order?
Address and phone number.
Yes, very good. Do you change your phone number every day? Do you change your address every day? Do you relocate every day, every order that you make? Do you change your email ID? No, right? Those kind of data we call it as master data. Okay, just an example I'm giving. Okay, so let's say for example we have something that data we call it as, what are the data that you enter inside or in the Flipkart or Amazon, that is customer master data, right? You're the customer for the Flipkart or Amazon, right? That is what we call customer master data. Like that, in system there may be vendor master data also, customer master, vendor master, master or let's say material master, etc. Any different types of data. This is just an example. Are we clear? Let's say company manufactures some material, so the material master data remains same, right? If company manufacturing a laptop, the configuration of the laptop will remain same. Do you agree? If they make 100 laptop of same model, right, all the 100 laptops of same model will have same configuration, right? It doesn't change, right guys? If model is changing, maybe the configuration might change, but for the same model you will have the same data, like that material master data, vendor master data. Let's say if the company wants to procure some raw material from a vendor, then they should have the vendor details. So that is what we call vendor master data. Are we clear on this types of data? Any doubts?
Yes.
Everyone understood? Okay, the next one is transaction data. It changes frequently. Okay, so it changes frequently. For example, you make an orders, right? Every time do you order the same product?
No.
Different products like that. Okay, so here we will have like sale order data, right? Sale order data or purchase order data. Every time you don't purchase the same material, so the table should be updated. Order data, or we have invoice data, right, etc. These are the different types of data we have. Understood? So the next one is organization data, the data which never changes. Okay, data which never changes actually. For an example, company details. Do you change the company name or company details anytime? Like if you have a plant, manufacturing a plant in Bangalore, you establish today, next time you may create a new plant in other location, but you may not remove the plant or destroy the plant that is already built in Bangalore, right?
So,
Yeah, like the plant details or the company code details, right? Company code details or purchase organizations details, purchase orgs, sales orgs, etc. Okay, so this is what we call organization data. Next is user data. What is user data? Very simple, everybody should know it. User details to log in to system. If you want to log into SAP system, you need credentials, right? User ID, password, right? Somebody should create a credentials for you, right? Without credential, will it be possible to log into the server? No, right? The first thing that you try log into the system, it asks for credentials. You have to provide these credentials. You have to provide this user ID, passwords. Without that, it will not be able to enter into the system. So let's say SU01D. This is where you can see more details. I think it's been locked. So SU3. Now you see S4 HANA access. This is my first name, last name. That's how they have provided. Okay, this is the server provider, actually something like that. See, this is all details that is related to user ID. The language, telephone number, fax, email address of me, all these details are belongs to user details. Are we clear on this?
so, organization data might change no, sir.
Yeah, it can change, but not every time. Very rare case. Let's say you are going to remove the plant completely. You don't need that plant. That doesn't happen very often, right? Very rare.
Yes.
If the company is going to shut down in that location, that's when the changes might happen, right? That is very rare case. So that's why I said it never changes, right? You cannot change the plant details from 1000 to 2000 tomorrow, right? If you name it once, you have to use the same name. You cannot do changes to that ID, right? Understood?
So another
Yeah.
thing, you told about client independent,
Yeah.
right? Client
Yeah.
independent. So whatever data we add in 100, it will flow to 200, right?
Independent, no. Sorry, client independent
It
you're
won't.
asking, right? Yeah, whatever the data that we have
Yeah,
here,
client
yes, it
independent.
will be, yes, float to 200 also.
Okay. If we create material a number or something in 100, it will flow to 200,
Yes,
right?
if the table is client dependent.
Okay.
Understood? Any doubts, anybody?
Good.
Your functional consultant, Ashwarya,
No, sir.
because you asked materials and all. I think you're really good actually. Anybody working here?